Jake Guentzel traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning by the Carolina Hurricanes, who said, we'll match any deal. And he said, but I'd get to play with Kucherov and Hedman.
Yeah. What if I don't want to play in Carolina?
It seems like that's what happened. Now, SDPN Free Agency Day brought to you by 888 Canada. Subscribe to their YouTube channel to see Jesse and Steve and Ashley Docking have fun and interactive segments, and Steve gets a pie to the face.
I get a pie in the flash.
And if you're looking to do a little bit of betting, they've got NHL, MLB, NFL, CFL, soccer, basketball, and many more sports, and a seamless, enjoyable user experience. Now let's talk about Jake Guentzel basically coming in as of right now and probably becoming the Steven Stamkos replacement.
Yeah, that's I don't think people are understanding that that's an enormous upgrade.
Okay,
like, it's
so
2024. What are you
enormous?
It's a pretty big one.
I don't think it's that
40 goals,
big.
Steven Stamkos? What do we think? Let's go, Jet.
Go ahead,
All right,
Steve.
Steve, you tell
Make
your
the
side,
argument.
and Jesse, give it yours.
Make the argument that it's enormous.
Stamkos at this point in his career, listen, the last thing to go for him is going to be his shot. He's always going to have this touch of death. He's going to have a good time putting up a decent amount of goals for the next few years. He is. He's 34 years old, though. Guentzel is not. He is younger. He is 29.
Mm-hmm.
And he also has a good playoff track record. He's younger. He's younger, and you don't have to shelter the ever-loving crap out of him like you do a 34-year-old Steven Stamkos. Now, Stamkos is going to sign somewhere else. We don't know what the dollar amount is. But the amount of money Stamkos was making versus the extension that Guentzel is getting right now, the raise isn't that substantial. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have a great salary structure, so they're going to be able to absorb it. Is the end of Guentzel's contract going to be very good? No.
Well, we don't know.
Well, he's going to be 36.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Close to Stamkos' age, and Stamkos still got it.
Right. But Stamkos wasn't signed till he was 36, and he wasn't making $9 million when he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that might be a world of hurt. I also don't think Tampa gives a good gosh darn.
Well, the first 4 years of this deal, guys, have a full no movement clause and then a modified no trade starting in 28-29. You guys will love this. Jake Guentzel had a check deposited in his account today. Do you want to know how much?
I would love to know.
$12,263,157. The $7 being the key here. No, I'm kidding.
100%.
But he has a lot of signing bonuses laid into this contract, and it goes to show Tampa are a big money team in a way that they just never used to be. $53 million of this contract, which is $63 million, $53,042,105. That is the total amount of this that it's bonus. The rest of it, just under $10 million, is salary. Now, Jesse, you were talking. Yeah. You were pushing back on Steve on this is an upgrade over Stamkos. Why do you say that it isn't?
I think it's at best a lateral move because Stamkos, I think for the next at least 2 to 3 years is 80 points, 35 goals in his sleep. Last year, Steven Stamkos had 40 goals. 41 assists.
Did he really?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
No, it didn't seem like you knew that.
I didn't think it was that high.
He's a 40 goal scorer. And the year before, 34 goals, and the goal takes a step back, but he had 50 assists. The year before that, 42 goals, 64 assists, 106 points in the year 32 season. And I think Stamkos is determined to still be that. And for what was rumored for what he could have signed, which was around, they were offering 3, but it sounded like Stamkos was good with like 4.
Yes.
And they were unwilling to do that. I think from $4 million to $9 million, that $5 million difference, you take the guy in the age 34, 35 season who's going to give you 30 goals, and then you take the $5 million and you go get something else. I feel like Stamkos plus $5 million is better than Jake Guentzel.
Well, and it's interesting that this is the first time we've ever seen like a true championship team go out of their way to kick their biggest player in franchise history out the door.
Man,
from day one of training camp last September, Stammer's like, I didn't get a call from them all summer, and then Breeze was like, we'll just evaluate.
So let me say a couple things. Number one, apology to Steven Stamkos. I was not familiar with your game. I didn't know he had 40 goals last season. But what a professional.
Mhm.
Like we talked about how much of a distraction it was and how awkward it was when Stamkos showed up in training camp and talked about how outwardly upset he was. And then he ends up putting up over 40 goals and 80 points
And
with the team that, like, he hasn't been a member of the Lightning for a full season already.
throw in the playoff.
They just happened to
points.
give him a jersey and a contract and all that.
Steven Stamkos had more playoff goals than Jake Guentzel. He had
Damn.
5 in 5 goals in 5 games. Jake Guentzel had 4 in 11.
You know what, Jesse? You're turning me.
Wow.
You're turning me here.
Wow.
I did not realize. I mean, listen, long term, at some
Sure.
point they were going to have to kick him out the door, and they're choosing to do it now. I did not know Stamkos had. Oh man, and now he was playing all last year pissed, and this year he's gonna be playing even more pissed. And
Now
he's gonna be playing for spite.
the defense has taken a step back. I think we can all agree with that, just with his age and what he does on the defensive side. But the points are still there, and I don't think like the drop off isn't that crazy from what Guentzel is going to provide to you.
Guentzel, I mean, I can only go by like what I've seen. It's not like I watch every single Pittsburgh Penguins game, but there was a game against the Leafs where Guentzel was on the ice for all 5 goals that the Leafs scored, and I think all 5 were arguably at least partially his fault.
Oh yeah.
So like I know like he's probably not that much of a defensive liability in general, but it's funny, like you're almost getting a left-handed younger version of a Stammer. I know that's not an apples to apples comparison, but a guy who you don't necessarily want out there in every defensive situation. I wonder what the even strength versus power play scoring comparison is for them. Tampa, they're grasping at this window. They're really trying to keep it open.
Well, and I wondered if part of the reason that they want Stamkos done is they think it's a new era. It's Victor Hedman's world, and we're just living in it. I don't think we're going to get – I'm not sure when that extension will be announced today, but we will do a separate video on that. Captain.
I think I read it's going to come – not today. It's going to come like tomorrow.
Okay. Well, big contract.
He's only a year younger than Stamkos.
And new captain, though. I think they want seems like they want to change a direction. Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah. No, painfully
and
obvious.
you're moving out Sergachev to bring back McDonough. Like, I don't know. Julian Breezewell has done magical things. He's been to 3 Stanley Cup Finals, two victories, right? Hats off to you. But in the last couple of days, I'm just questioning what direction they're going in.
The direction they're going in is we're going to try to extend this window, and after that, we're going to suck.
But has the sucking begun based on their performance against Florida, based on the moves in the last couple of days?
Good question. They had a player score 5 goals in 5 games, and they still lost in 5 games, so you tell me.
Listen, it's Tampa, so you never should know what's going to happen.
Hey!
Oh! All right. SDPN Free Agency Day brought to you by 888 Canada.